I've been tagging me in this, so let's get it.
Yo, a lady called the police on me today because I'm hitting golf balls at the park.
Now, why would you?
And when the officer pulled up, I just simply put a golf ball in his hand. And he scores it. He said it's foam. I said,
okay.
of course. Who would hit live golf balls at a public park?
Duh.
And then the lady who had called and complained had her dog off the leash, and he walked over and told her about a city ordinance and gave her a ticket. Isn't life lovely?
No, it's more than lovely. It's like the first breeze of spring, or like that time in the fall where the leaves are all different colors. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's so satisfying. Another satisfying racial moment. I'm so happy for you.
Yo, shalom. Thank y'all for joining us for another one. Yeah, how about Shema Mashiach Yahushua? Hey, I'm Azrahaya.
This is Brother Asa.
Khan, Brother Mathanya, hey, we appreciate y'all joining us. Like we always say, y'all can be doing anything else on a Wednesday, but y'all spend it with us. All praise to God. We got some interesting topics to discuss, man. Y'all give us some feedback, vibe with us. We want to keep the conversation open, you know what I'm saying, and have a good
time. Con. So hold on one second. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So just go ahead and clear this up right now. So when you come into the truth, there are people that prey on Israelites. There's people that prey on us, and because they know that we live by God's laws, they automatically assume that we supposed to be breaking bread, you know what I'm saying, coming off our money for them, and we don't know these people. Let's go to Sirach 12:1 real quick. Let's see. Don't get it confused. Even though scripture tells you you're supposed to help your brother, there's a certain way you're supposed to do that. There's a certain way to handle that, brothers and sisters. All right. So whenever people come to you, they're because you're an Israelite and asking you for money, and you don't know these people, listen, move with wisdom. Okay. Let's bring it out. Sirach 12:1.
Go ahead, man.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 1. When thou wilt do good, know to who thou doest it.
Is it said what?
Know to who thou doest it. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits.
Okay, so it says know who you doing good to. You will break yourself trying to do good to all these strangers that you don't even know. You don't know somebody posing to be an Israelite just to break you. You see what I'm saying? It's a brother that just got in the chat, and this is his second time doing that, getting in the chat, posting his cash app. The brother ain't reached out to us, our email, ain't called nobody, don't nobody know who this brother is. You see what I'm saying? You just posting your cash app in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm an Israelite, and then got a so-called Israelite name. Hey, I'm an Israelite, give me money. It don't work like that. The scripture just said, know who you doing good to. Let's keep reading.
It says, when thou wilt do good, know to who thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High.
It said, do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. A godly man, if you do good for a godly man, that godly man is going to pay you back one way or another. He's going to make sure that you're taken care of one way or another. You see what I'm saying? You don't even have to ask for it. You know what I'm saying? Really, you're not supposed to ask for it back. But a godly man will give you back what you gave him and then some. Godly man going to take care of you. But a wicked man ain't, right? Let's read verse 3.
Verse 3. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms.
Now it says there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. If you busy begging, you ain't trying to put your brick in at all. You begging more than anything. You're not putting in no alms. It says there can no good come to him. None. And then back up where it says in verse 2, it says, do good to the godly man. How do you know this is a godly man if you don't know this person?
Right.
How do you know this is a godly man if this person just walks up to you and gives you their cash app? Just jump in the chat, throwing their cash app in there. We don't know you from a can of paint. Who are you? You ain't asked to attend no feast days. You see what I'm saying? You ain't put no precepts in the chat. Well, how do we know that you an Israelite?
Teach y'all.
So, see what I'm saying? Let's get the next verse.
Verse 4. Give to the godly man and help not a sinner.
It says don't help a sinner. And how would you know this person is a sinner if you don't know this person?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Keep reading.
Verse 5. Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly.
It says don't give to the ungodly.
Hold back thy bread and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby.
Mm-hmm.
For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him.
It said don't give to the wicked man because you're going to receive double evil. You're going to receive twice the evil. It said do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee, for else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him. You're going to receive double evil for giving to the ungodly. Mm-hmm. How you receiving double evil? Because for one, if this is an ungodly man, you assisting him in his ungodliness. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And if this is an ungodly man, whatever situation he in, the Most High put him in that situation, and you trying to, you know what I'm saying? You come between the judgment that the Most High put on him. You see what I'm saying? And what he need to be going through. This is an ungodly man, ungodly sister. So if they not living according to God's law, statutes, and commandments, you might as well just stay about my face. You see what I'm saying? If you're not living holy, I'm not receiving double evil for you, Jack. You get what I'm saying? That's right. Because once again, you assisting them in their wickedness, and then you're not gonna get repaid back. Not that you're looking for it, you're not gonna get paid back. Nothing good is gonna come from that situation. So how the brother put his cash up in there? Matter of fact, the brother did that. I think they was on class on Sunday, and the brother did that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to put brothers on the spot. You can't put us on the spot, bro, because you're not moving right. You're not moving correctly. You don't just throw your cash app up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You showing us that you scamming, Jack. Don't no righteous brother move like that.
That's right.
Ain't no righteous brother gonna move like that. We never seen you on the class before. You know what I'm saying? You never came out the camp. Nothing. So you can't try us like that. You know, you're not finna take advantage of my people. You know what I'm saying? Not on my watch. Anyway, y'all got anything?
Grab Proverbs 6 and verse 6.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 6. My fault. Proverbs 6 and 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
So go to the ant. Look at what the ant do. Shoot. The ant always working.
Always working.
Always working. Sun up to sundown. Shoot. Right. As soon as you even breathe on that ant bed, them are scattering, trying to build it up and trying to get you out of their house.
Right.
Go to the ant. Cause the ant ain't been in no YouTube comment sections begging.
Right.
The ant going out there working. Shoot. You look at the ant. Read on.
Verse 7. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest.
Hey, the ant gonna always be busy doing what the ant need to do to live the lifestyle that the ant like to live.
Right.
Grab there you go again. Grab Romans 12 and 11.
Romans 12 and 11.
Now
he need to sit here and listen to these scriptures. We feeding you right now with this bread of life. Listen to these scriptures, brother. You said what?
Romans 12.
11.
I got it out of one.
Well, actually start at on 10.
Look at him scoffing. White people have given us meat. Why are you not interested in these scriptures, bro? Let's read. Let's read that.
This the book of Romans chapter 12, right? And verse number 11.
10.
Verse 10. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love. To honor, preferring one another.
So, brother, we are preferring you and loving you by telling you to get out these comment sections and go get you a job.
That's right.
You ain't finna build with another man's money. You need to go out there and get it by the sweat of your brow. This is open rebuke.
Right.
Don't come in here begging when you ain't came to one doggone camp, ain't posted one precept, ain't said shalom, 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 shalom. You ain't did nothing.
No.
But the first thing that you come in doing is begging.
Right. That brother, matter of fact, that brother be on Clubhouse doing the same thing.
For real?
He be on Clubhouse begging. They had to put him up out the room for begging. That's that brother that what you call it? I the one I was talking about.
Sure, man. If you can spend doggone 3-4 hours begging on Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, you can spend 3-4 hours at somebody's job. We not playing that at the Iron Horn of Zion. All of us work. All of us got families. All of us got bills. All of us got things that we got to take care of. And brother, we are telling you to do the exact thing. Next verse.
Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord.
The first thing that verse said is not slothful in business, meaning that you are not being lazy, meaning that you are trying to get it by all means. I see people with no legs and no arms getting doggone jobs every day. I see crazy people getting jobs every day. I see our mentally challenged brothers and sisters getting jobs every day. Hell, earlier I was on TikTok and I seen a woman cooking with her feet because she didn't have arms. Don't be lazy. Don't be slothful. Don't be begging when you got means to go and do something for your own self. And he goes on saying, fervent in spirit. You ain't moving in the right spirit if the first thing that you come to the comment sections doing is begging. You in the spirit of Satan. You in wickedness. And it goes on saying, serving the Lord. You serve the Lord by providing, by not being an infidel, and by doing what you need to take care of your means with the ability that the Most High gave you. So if you can type comments all doggone day, you can get a remote job using the Wi-Fi wherever you at doing something. I
see, we do understand, according to scripture, scripture says that there will always be the homeless amongst us. We do understand that, let's say the brother, had a job, lost his job, fell on hard times. It happens. Stuff happens, right? But the problem is, it's not that we don't want to help our brothers and sisters, because we have helped our brothers and sisters. We help each other. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. The fact of the matter is, we don't know you, bro. You're not approaching us the right way. You haven't shown yourself to be a righteous man. We just read the scripture that says, give to the godly man and not a sinner. You haven't proven to us who you are. We got to prove you. We got to prove you to be a friend, like Sirach 6 says. We have to prove you, bro. You can't just jump. The same brother, hit the cash out requesting money. We don't know. You don't do that. In any other setting, you know that you wouldn't approach nobody like that. Why are you trying us like that? We don't know who you are. We don't know where you from. You could be anybody. Talking about white people gave to me. That's straight scoffing, bro.
Yep.
Straight up scoffing, bro. You're not moving in the spirit of the Lord, bro. I'm sorry. You won't get nothing from Iron Horn moving like that, Jack. All right. Anyway, you good, Mathanya?
Kind of.
All right, con. All right, let's that first video was kind of funny, you know. Anyway, but check this out.
A pictorial book that was created by a Jew in Germany over 500 years ago, meant to be read during the Passover Seder. Look at this depiction of a Jew using some feathers to brush any remaining breadcrumbs before the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Or this Israelite here taking his dogs on a rabbit hunt. See that?
Now, he said this book was created by a Jew in Germany over 500 years ago.
Or this Israelite right here drinking some wine. Yeah, the original Ashkenazi or German Jews were black. Now, these depictions are called folios, and they're numbered at the top of the page. And there's a section back here that has an English translation of the Hebrew with some commentary to correspond with the folios. Now check this out. This commentary responds to folio 12b, and it mentions Esau. You see here it says, for they said that Esau was a fool. And it's a translation of the Hebrew on this side. It says, Ki ameru Esau hayashote. Now, look at how they depicted Esau in folio 12b. Look, this is an Edomite. And the first came out red. Does he look familiar? I'm just saying.
So y'all see, so for those that's doubting, like, this book was written or put together over 500 years ago. Understand this. It said Esau came out red and hairy. For one, Esau has leprosy of the skin. Leprosy is the lack of pigmentation of whatever. But Esau has leprosy of the skin. And in this picture, you see Esau with red hair. That's leprosy of the hair, the lack of pigmentation in the hair. Let's pull it out in Leviticus 13 and 30 real quick. That's a lack of pigmentation in the hair. Blue eyes, green eyes, that's leprosy of the eyes. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have you don't have brown eyes, any other color is leprosy of the eyes. When you don't have, my granddaddy had green eyes, but it is what it is. You know, when you don't have black hair, dark or dark brown hair, you know, that's leprosy of the hair. Let's bring it out real quick.
Come on.
Go on. Nah, you got it out.
Con, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 13 and verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair,
blonde hair,
then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scald, even a leprosy upon the head or beard.
Blonde hair is leprosy upon the beard or hair, upon the hair. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. So, but when you read in Genesis 25 and 25, I think that was where it says he came out red and hairy. When it says red and hairy, it's not talking about his hair. It's talking about his skin, red and hairy. His skin was red, and he was a hairy man. He was a hairy child. So, but also, I mean, he may have had red hair. Exactly, your ball plague. So he may have had red hair, but when it says he was red and hairy, it's talking about his skin, the lack of pigmentation, and it calls him red because his blood shows through his skin. Okay, so that's leprosy. If you Google leprosy, you'll see these different pictures of bumps and all that type of stuff. No, the Bible tells us exactly what leprosy is. It tells us exactly, especially when Moses put his hand in his bosom. You see what I'm saying? It said his hand was leprous as snow, meaning white as snow, the lack of color. All right. You good? You got anything, Nathaniel? All right, con. I just wanted to show y'all that. And this brother just said that the original Ashkenazis were black. Ashkenazi Jews were black. I don't know how true that is. I haven't looked into that, but I can believe it because Esau, my brother hit me up today and asked me about Japhet, and I told him, I said, a few of those nations from Japhet, Esau has taken the names of those people, right. And those people originally weren't Edomites, just like the original Greeks weren't Edomites. The original Romans weren't, you know what I'm saying? Esau has taken over the names of a lot of these nations of people when really these were not Edomites, you know? So he's asking about Japhet. He said, a lot of people don't speak on Japhet. I'm like, yeah, because, you know what I'm saying? For one, we're mostly concerned with who the Israelites are and who the wicked are, you know, the Edomites, you know what I'm saying? He said a brother told him that Esau came from Japhet. I said that's when I got into telling him, yeah, Esau then took over the names of a lot of those Japhethites. You see what I'm saying? And he don't know prophecy because prophecy lets us know exactly who Esau is today. If you worry about just the names, you're gonna get caught up, you're gonna get messed up. You got to know these prophecies. Prophecies tell us Sirach 6 and 9. Esau is the beginning of let me read it. I ain't gonna mess it up.
Second Ezra's out of one.
Second Ezra 6 and 9. I don't want to mess it up. Hold on.
And I read it for you out of one. And this is the thing as well. A lot of these brothers who be saying Esau is Japheth, they can never tell you who. A lot of these brothers who say the white man is Japheth,
yeah,
never tell you who Esau is. They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know.
Esau just a ghost.
right. They don't know. They'll tell you that Esau ain't the white man, but they can't tell you who Esau is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 7. Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? The other one was just going and talking about prophecy. How we gonna know? Mm-hmm. Or when shall be the end of first and the beginning of it that followeth? Right? Mm-hmm. And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, mm-hmm. and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Okay. See, this is just one prophecy. You got multiple, tons of prophecies, letting us know who Esau is in the last days. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, when I hear stuff like that, brothers, those brothers need to be edified. That they lack edification. All right. Let me get that up off here. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, we showed a clip of the brother putting his daughter out for getting pregnant. He put his daughter out at 16 for getting pregnant. And here's a video. Actually, I got two videos to kind of land me back off what we was talking about. We was going off into it's our job to It's our job to watch over our children, teach them what they need to know in these laws, statutes, and commandments, raise them up the right way, because we have to take the blame, a large portion of the blame for how them children end up being. We have to take a large portion of the blame. All right. So we have to monitor what they're doing and don't get so relaxed on these children. But here's a video of why we say that. Hold on, let me cut that music down for they. I'm just watching. So you see these kids in school. It's 7:20. 7:20 at school. It's 7:20. They drinking liquor. You sending your children to school with these bad kids whose parents ain't taught them no morale. This is who when you train up your children, you try to teach them to the best of your ability, and this is who you sending your kids to school with. I wish we had an Israelite school. You know what I'm saying? We gotta send our kids to school with these devils. Their parents probably ain't worth nothing. You see what I'm saying? Mama out in the club. The mama and daddy probably ain't about nothing. This is who you send your kids to school with. That's why you got to monitor your children. You know what I'm saying? It's not you can't put all the blame on your child if your child come home pregnant. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, watch this. Here's the reason why I say that.
Results in over a dozen pregnant.
And that right there is exactly why. You're welcome, daughter. You're welcome. Because you weren't allowed to spend a night.
Hold on.
A high school sleepover results in over a dozen pregnant.
And that right there is exactly why. You're welcome, daughter. You're welcome. Because you weren't allowed to spend a night anywhere. Your friends could have sleepovers, and that was fine. You could stay during the day, but in the nighttime, I was there to pick you up and would bring you back first thing in the morning, early, before the crack of dawn, for this very reason, because I was that parent. There weren't going to be any once upon a time stories or mama, remember that time when you let me go? No. Because about mine, the choices is very slim. Jail or hell, okay? And I'm going to smile on my mugshot about mine because that's my obligation to protect my children at all costs. So yeah, there are no sleepovers.
See, like she said, that's her obligation to protect her children at all costs. If you letting your child run wild, running rampant, doing whatever the hell they want to do, when the repercussions come, don't blame the child. You can't blame the child. Like she said, that's why my child couldn't stay the night nowhere. That's the parent you got to be, especially in this day and age. Anything goes nowadays. See what I'm saying? You send your child to these folks' house, ain't no telling what they got going on up in there. You know what I'm saying? Send your daughter to her homegirl house. Her uncle, fresh out of prison, could be up in the house. You know what I'm saying? Eyeballing her. Your daughter ain't nothing but 12 years old, 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? You sending her to these folks' house. Send your son over there. At the end of the day, it's our obligation, the parents' obligation, to take care of these children and make sure they're in the right situation. God put you here to be their parent, not their friend. He put you here to be their parent and not their friend. Your job is not to try to make sure you good friends with your child. No, not at all. Okay?
And now that I have a son, the rules still apply. There are no sleepovers. Baby, you go be home at night. That's all. That's the message. Mm-hmm.
That's right. You got anything, McLean?
Con, let me get Sirach chapter 30 and verse 9. Right? Because this is important, man. We gotta, man, we raising the next generation, man.
Right.
You know, that's gonna represent our family, you know what I'm saying, our community, our nation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we gotta be tough on them because this world tough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say that love, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And it has, right? That's why we got to teach our children. Deuteronomy 6:6 talking about tells us that we got to teach them these laws. We got to put it on their forehead, right? We got to prepare them for what's to come. And some of that, it ain't easy. You got to keep them in and away from these people in this evil society because others ain't raising your children how you raising them. Let me get it in Sirach 30 and 9.
Con, this book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 9. Conquer thy child, and he shall.
Read it again.
Conquer thy child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness.
When you don't chasten your child, when you don't teach them, when you don't correct them, when you don't whoop them, he gonna bring you to, or she gonna bring you to heaviness, right? End up in juvenile detention, end up pregnant, end up doing all manners of foolishness that you would have never suspected. But you too busy trying to be your child's friend instead of being your parent.
Right.
Their parent. That's one thing I love about what my mother always told me. Always. I'm not here to be a friend. Love her for it. She was a drill sergeant. Not in the military, in the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't play that. You know what I'm saying? My daddy was more so cool. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, I needed that balance because sometimes I had to get away. My mom was playing it.
Right.
But she wanted to save me from the world. The best way she knew how, because she don't know nothing about the law, statutes, and commandments. She don't know nothing about these scriptures. But she did the best with what she knew. Right? Read on with that in verse 10.
Verse 10. It says, laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth at the end.
Yeah, don't be playing with them too much, man. You playing too much. You doing more playing than parenting.
Right.
Now, the scripture ain't saying you can't, have a joke with your child here and there, but be focused on the parenting and the teaching.
Right.
More so than the playing and the being the friend. Right? Sometimes I be wanting to be friendly with mine, but hey, you got a parent. No, hold on. You getting a little bit too relaxed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Read verse 11.
And where it says, unless thou gnash thy teeth at the end of verse 10, gnashing thy teeth is you gonna be talking smack, you're gonna be cussing, you're gonna be pissed off. When it says you're gonna be gnashing your teeth. But verse 11 it says, give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies.
And that's what the sister was just talking about right here. No, you're not spending the night.
Right.
I'm coming to get you before the sun go down.
Right.
And I bring you back in the morning when everybody up, and even the adults.
Right.
Shoot, probably around 12.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But shoot, hey, that was all I had.
Con. Oh, you got anything, Asa?
Con King.
Did you catch the clip?
Con, I caught it out. Con, and there is something very pivotal that we do here at the House of Asa. We homeschool. If you can, homeschool your children, because it keeps you far from these kids who ain't learning nothing, who ain't being taught right. It just keeps them from picking up bad influence. Like, we already live in a world that is terrible, where they are gonna be exposed to a lot of just BS every single day. So it is our job as parents to cut that down to a minimum. So if you can homeschool, definitely do it. Not you. And apologies for my camera going out. I've been having some technical difficulties over here.
Hey, also too, man. One thing we gotta realize is that, shoot, we teaching our children the law, statutes, commandments. These other parents ain't. You feel me? So they're being governed and being led by a different set of rules than what you teaching your kid. You know what I'm saying? Give me Second Corinthians real quick, man. Real quick. Verse 6, I believe, and I think I want verse 17. Thank you. 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Yeah.
All right, this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
All right, so man, you gotta protect your children from some of these people, man. Like, shoot, I love my folks to death, but hey, shoot, it's some family that my kid can't come around.
Mm-hmm.
And I can because my foundation good. I'm still trying to build my daughter's foundation where she can have discernment to be around certain family members. You feel me? So, you know, you got to build them up. You know what I'm saying? We still working on our kids. They ain't ready for some environments.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't ready to get exposed to some of the stuff that the world is going to expose them to. Right. So you still, you know, keep your child in, man. Don't let them attend these sleepovers and stuff with these other parents. Now, if it's some Israelite parents, then that's another thing. You feel me? But these parents that's in the world, nah.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. Are you?
Come. All right. Let me get her up off of here. Wise words from the sister. Shoot. Telling you. Now, for this next clip, all right, it's kind of anyway, we're gonna pull it up. Hold on.
They can't even take care of a woman better than a woman can take care of herself.
Pay attention to this sister right here. Pay very close attention to what she's saying, and then what's going on when the picture changes. Watch. So she's talking about men. I've seen this sister so many times.
Can't even do that. They can't even take care of a woman better than a woman can take care of herself. I think.
Oh, and she's married.
The fact that you want her to cook and clean and do all these different things, when does she have time to do that?
Oh, she's happily married. But listen to the advice she's giving to the sisters.
If a woman thinks her man is cheating, he probably is. We always underestimate our intuition, but usually it's telling us something. You got to be careful, ladies, because sometimes you could be sleeping with the enemy. Sometimes your biggest hater is the man that's sharing your bed. No reverse card on single men. Now we're the ones saying marriage is just a piece of paper. Why do we have to define what we have? I'll keep my place, you keep yours. Marriage.
So you hear this advice that the sister's giving. She got so many followers, but she's happily married. She's happily married, but telling sisters, talking sisters against men and their men. So what this shows is you got wolves in sheep clothing out here. At the end of the day, shouldn't nobody tell you, shouldn't no sister, no brother, should nobody tell you, for one, to leave your husband. You know what I'm saying? You should, if you got a friend that's advising you to leave your husband, unless if this brother ain't beating you down, if this brother ain't got you doing all manner of wickedness, if you just upset If whatever the case may be, if you talk to somebody that's telling you to leave your husband or advising you to leave your wife, that is not a friend of yours. That is not a friend of yours. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if that person is not putting that other person's life in danger, don't have this person doing all type of wickedness, you see what I'm saying? Then they ain't got no business telling them to leave their husband or their wife. You see what I'm saying? Because you got people like this. Let's get 2 Timothy real quick. 2 Timothy chapter 3. You got wolves out here. See, she talk, she run her mouth like how she do because she gets paid. She gets paid. She's seeing what's paying her. There's a lot of silly, stupid sisters out there listening to garbage like this. You see what I'm saying? Because no offense, sisters, but a lot of sisters, women are emotionally driven. And whatever sounds good to the ear, it drives women that way. You caught up in your emotions, and because it sounds good, even though you know your better judgment is what's going on over here, but because it sounds good, you're gonna listen to it. That's why the man is supposed to be the head of the house at the end of the day. Let's bring it out. 2 Timothy 3:1.
Con. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
That sister is a lover of her own self. She don't care how you destroy your household. If you got a friend that's giving you advice like this, they don't care if you self-destruct. But while she's living at home with her husband, probably got children with her, in a happy home, collecting money off of all these sisters that's entertaining that garbage. She don't care if you self-destruct. She don't care if you tear down your whole house, right? And that sister's gonna pay for that. The Most High gonna punish that sister for that garbage, destroying homes, right? Keep reading.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy.
See, and what we just read right here, and everything that this sister is saying goes directly against Titus 2. That goes directly against Titus 2. Right? Because in Titus 2, it tells you if a woman is not obedient to her husband, she's blaspheming the word of God. And this loudmouth sister right here running her mouth, telling sisters against the men. That's the problem we got right now. Brothers and sisters fighting amongst each other. We the only nation of people that do that. You got men against the women, women against the men. Who else do this? This is crazy. Right? Keep reading on that, King.
Con. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
Keep going.
Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God.
Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Because if you're a lover of God, you're going to do what the Bible say do. Don't listen to this big mouth sister right here or anybody like that. I don't care how long you've known your friend. This could have been your best friend since kindergarten. If they telling you against your man, against your wife, that is not your friend. That is not your friend, especially if they single. Why would you be talking to a single person for anyway about how to conduct your situation in your house? Unless that person, listen, at the end of the day, if they telling you against your spouse, you don't need to be dealing with them. Bottom line. All right. Bottom line. Right? Skip down to verse 6.
Verse 6.
No, read verse 5.
Verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away.
It says having a form of godliness. So godliness can be perceived multiple ways. To the unlearned, godliness could be it sounds like you telling me something good. You got a Bible in your hand and you're talking and it sounds good, that's a form of godliness. Godliness is what's in the Bible. A form of godliness is you posing as a godly person. What she's saying might sound good. What your friend said, well, he did what? Oh, girl, I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't deal with that. It sounds like a form of godliness because it sounds like they got your best interest at heart. But they talking you against the Lord of your house. They talking you against Psalms 82:6, a God of the earth, a prince that has power with God and man, but overcometh. They talking you against your princess, against your wife, against the woman that the Most High gave you. That is not your friend. They have motives. They have motives, right? But the next verse, let's read that.
Verse 6. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts.
It says, for this sort they creep into houses. They can creep in your house through your phone, through TikTok, through YouTube. They can be sitting next to you, but they creeping into your house and lead captive silly women laden with sins. You know how you don't be a silly woman laden with sin? By doing what the Bible say do.
That's right.
Not what this loudmouth talking about. If you're gonna talk to somebody, talk to your husband, talk to your wife. See what I'm saying? Or talk to someone that's experienced, an elder woman, an elder man. You see what I'm saying? That's experienced in relationships. You see what I'm saying? That's who you talk to. You don't talk to this loudmouth right here, or nobody like that, right? So it says, lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. Your own flesh, your own emotions. That's fleshly thoughts. Your own emotions is gonna lead you astray. Your own thoughts that you destroying yourself mentally, all deep down inside you. You see what I'm saying? And you letting it lead you away from what the truth says to do. You let your emotions get you all riled up to where you gonna get caught up and jacked up, and later on think about, God damn, what I do. And your friend that gave you that bad advice, they're gonna go on about their business. They're gonna be just as happy. You know what I'm saying? All willy-nilly. Don't get caught up. Are you?
King. Someone grab Sirach 4, verse 27.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 4, and verse 27. Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty.
So, to the women that are hearing her for the first time, and to the women that have been listening to this foolish woman, don't make yourself an underling to her. Don't subscribe to this false, foolish BS doctrine she is bringing out. This is someone who has no damn sense.
Right.
This is someone who has been taken with the cares of this world and is just a straight up liar. How are you going to tell someone that you don't need a man while you have one? What sense does that make? Man, grab on Sirach 1 and 29.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and verse 29. Be not a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest.
Hey, don't be a hypocrite. So based off of what you were saying, foolish woman, you should leave your man. You should leave your happiness. You should leave your hedge of protection and just be the woman out here taking care of the woman that you are. Shoot. Hey, I want to see you kill every bug. I want to see you walk around the house when you hear a noise. I want you to put them steel toe boots on and go move that damn stove. Let me see how much of a real woman you are. See, we have let women and men get too comfortable just saying anything, and no one is getting checked. Well, at the Iron Horn of Zion, we are checking this.
That's right.
Because this is just straight folly and madness. And a real man, a real woman of the Lord isn't going to stand for this. They're going to cast this down. Because we are not about to get to the kingdom with foolish people acting like this. So,
Right.
verse 129 also says to take good heed of what you say. So, woman, you will be judged for all of these words. For every woman that is terrible advice, Shawty, you got blood on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to find that right cleaning agent to get that off. And it starts by you stopping the folly and just listening to your husband. And, you know, sometimes just shutting up. Are you?
God. I pray you got anything, Nathaniel?
Man. Shoot, man. We you know, one would be surprised how much this happens in our community. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't really worried about no other community, but a lot of times, man, you know, as the brothers was just bringing out, your friends, you know what I'm saying, gonna convince you to leave. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it be the single sisters, you know, that's gonna convince you to, you know, to destroy or separate your family. You know what I'm saying? It's terrible, man.
Right.
It's terrible because at that point you destroy your children, if you have any. You know what I'm saying? It's not what's up, man. So, you know, sisters and brothers, man, y'all gotta be careful who you getting advice from.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be extremely careful with that. Gotta be careful who you sharing your business with. You know, just because people will be hating on your situation, you know what I'm saying, and praying on your situation. And this is the opportunity for them to give you some advice that's going to lure you away from what's truly beneficial for you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But being that sometimes, you know, sisters, you know, may act out of emotion
Right.
and live in the moment. In the moment, that may sound like the best solution, but it ain't the long-term best solution. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know, stuff like that kind of grind my gears because I know how much it happens.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I think, you know, one of our the ones had mentioned that as well. Like, man, that gotta stop happening in Israel where y'all telling these folks to leave.
To leave their spouse.
It's, you know what I'm saying? It's just not what's up, man. But you know, but yeah, man. Well, let me get one scripture real quick. Give me the classic, man. Give me Psalms 1:1.
That's right.
Please.
Hey, that came to my mind too.
Give me the classic, man. You know.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Let me read that part again. Mm-hmm. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Man, they say blessed, right?
Huh?
Read on.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Right? Because that sister was scornful.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She done sat in the seat of the scornful. Right? And one thing I hate about the time that we living in, bro, you can get paid for being a fool.
Every day.
Man, listen.
You know what I'm saying? You can get paid for living an opposite life than what you're really living.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it, bro. I can't be nobody but me. That's it. I can't put on no act for it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've been listening to Brother Charleston lately, and sometimes he got an alter ego that he kind of get paid for, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And then he lure you in to kind of give you the serious stuff that he want to talk about. But shoot, we just won't be talking if I gotta be somebody else for you to listen to me.
Right.
Come.
Like, no, hell no. Read verse 2 for me, King.
Come. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
That sister there ain't meditating on the law day and night.
No.
She ain't, or she wouldn't be doing what she doing. She hate her own people.
Right.
You telling these sisters to be a enemy to their spouse, to their significant other, putting vain thoughts in their mind about their significant other. It's not making no sense, and this happens so much.
Yep.
In our community.
Right.
Yeah, and then when the person end up really thinking about what they did, now they want to spin the block, and it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Because you done made your move.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Read verse 3 for me, and we're gonna end with that, King.
Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water.
When he or she is meditating on the law day and night, it says what now?
And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
Whatsoever they do, they gonna prosper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They not gonna be withering. You know what I'm saying?
That's heavy.
You hear me? They gonna have a good foundation. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be able to discern against foolishness, such as what this sister bringing out. Right? I yield with that, King.
And you about to say something, Asa?
God, hey, and they always spin the block when they know that they done messed up by taking some terrible advice. They always spin the block, but the road is always closed.
Hey,
right.
Hey,
right.
All right.
Listen, hey, and really, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I ain't gonna say that, but at what we just read in verse 3. Watch this. It says, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in his season. So what they're saying, let me read verse 2 again. It says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. This he or she delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. So somebody that's rooted and grounded in God's word, in these laws, statutes, and commandments, and what the Bible tells them they're supposed to be doing, somebody that's rooted and grounded in it, it says they should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, meaning you're not gonna be moved. If they come with bad information, it's not gonna make you move. It's not gonna make you go against your spouse. It's not gonna make you do that. It says this is talking about those that are rooted and grounded in God's word. It says he should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in his season. Right? It says his leaf also shall not wither, meaning you're not gonna be changed. When this bad information comes, you're not gonna be changed. You're not gonna go against your spouse. You know what I'm saying? For what this devil then came and told you. It says his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper, because you rooted in these law, statutes, and commandments. Now, this next verse. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. The wind is the bad information.
That's right.
The wind is that windbag doing all that talking. You see what I'm saying? That's the wind that driveth the ungodly away. If you get driven away by bad information, it's calling you ungodly. Because you supposed to be rooted in his word. If you stray away from your husband, if you stray away from your wife because of bad information, it's calling you the ungodly. You can't blame them. The Bible just called you the ungodly. It says, verse 5, therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. The Most High will move you out the way. He will let you and your emotions get you caught up and get you about the picture.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? It says, for the Lord, verse 6, for the Lord knoweth the way of righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish.
That's right.
You're going to destroy yourself listening to bad information, because the Bible already told you, blessed is he that don't stand in the congregation of the wicked, of the ungodly. You see what I'm saying? Well, the counsel of the ungodly. You see what I'm saying? Let's grab Matthew 12 and 36, and then I'm going to yield. Let's grab Matthew 12 and 36, because once again, brothers and sisters that's talking crazy, I don't care who it is. It don't matter who it is. If they talking you against your spouse, they need to be reprimanded. If they telling you against your spouse, because the Most High didn't bring you together for y'all to divorce. The Most High didn't put you with that woman for you to leave him. He didn't put you with that man for you to leave him, right? So if it ain't no wicked stuff going on, don't listen to what they talking about. They telling you to leave your spouse. Bring it out, King.
Con. This is the book of Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
So that sister that's talking to these sisters, that's listening to that garbage, that sister gonna pay.
That's right.
Every idle word, right? She gonna pay for that. But I yield on that note.
Good word.
All right. So with that being said, so y'all seen the title of the class, talking about we went into captivity to the Chinese. We went into captivity to everybody. All right. But I ran across this right here. This would pique my attention into looking up some stuff. Y'all get ready. We about to do some reading. All right, but first let's catch this clip real quick. Actually, I got two clips.
Slaves that turned into Japan's first black. This is the story of Yasuke, the slaves that turned into Japan's first black samurai.
So first and foremost, first thing you notice is it says Yasuke. It said the slaves that turned into black samurais. Now that's talking about Japan. And they black. Who else can they be?
In the late 1500s, Jesuit priests bribed a royal African family to avoid further trouble.
And notice, you know how you can always tell when it's Israelites and you see dark skin? Because they always gonna say African. They're not gonna say Kenyan, Ethiopian. They're not gonna say Egyptian. They're gonna always say African, because they don't want to disclose the fact that these are Israelites. That's how you can always tell, especially if they talking about they in captivity.
Instead of enslaving the aristocracy, they captured villagers from neighboring villages, including strong males, to force them into slavery. The king then provided the Jesuits with some of his most capable men to assist in capturing the villagers. As they approached a particular hut, a towering man, 6 feet 4 inches, rushed out, yelling a furious war cry and clutching a spear. Paralyzed in fear, one of the Jesuits was impaled by the spear thrust into his mouth and out the other side. As the man attempted to free the spear, it became lodged in the skull of the invader, allowing the others to immobilize him with nets and rope. His family was chained and shackled in front of him before being sent away, never to be seen again. The very next morning, the Jesuits sailed out to sea for a missionary trip to Japan, with this slave immediately becoming the center of attention due to his unprecedented size and stature. 6 other slaves on board grew fond of him. Oda Nobunaga, a Japanese warlord, was awestruck by the slaves and wrote that they possessed the strength of 10 men. He tasked his most skillful martial artists and swordsman masters with training them.
Who else are they talking about? Some of these slaves got the strength of 10 men. These are Israelites, man.
Rigorously for a year, after which they were titled samurai, an honor typically inherited. The large slave, Nobunaga's favorite, was given the name Yasuke, translating from his African name. Yasuke proved himself a formidable warrior, swiftly rising through the ranks on the battlefield. Rumors circulated that he was then given a leadership position, in charge of his newly found African samurai clan. Shortly after, Nobunaga would be betrayed and would call upon his new secret weapon. Like, comment, and share for part 2.
So they want us to believe that these some random Africans. And they said his name was translated from his original language. Yasuki. Yasuki. Come on, man. Like we dumb. All right. Now check out this clip.
Privilege, especially the Asian Americans who fit the model minority stereotype. The quid pro quo for receiving that privilege is upholding white supremacy culture, which means being anti-Black. I was talking with somebody last night who was pointing out that the Civil Rights Amendment was passed in 1964, but also in the 1960s, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration. So now you have an influx of racial minorities who knew nothing about the history of white violence against Black people, knew nothing about the...
She is a lie. She's saying that you see the question they posed, and she's saying that the Asians knew nothing about the violence that the white folks did to our people. They're lying. The whole world knew about it because they was doing it too.
The Black civil rights movement. So they arrived with civil rights, not understanding how that came to be. And also it effectively erased the United States' own anti-Asian history, because Asian Americans came in not necessarily knowing about the Chinese Exclusion Act or the internment of Japanese Americans in the United States during World War II.
Okay, well, I don't feel like listening to her for real. So the question they asked, can you please tell me why Asian people hate Black people so much? Now this applies to, that question can be applied to all nationalities of people. All nationalities of people hate you. They hate you. You know what I'm saying? While we sitting up trying to save Esau, all these nationalities of people hate you. They hate Israelites because they all plotted together. They all know that we are the children of the Most High. They all had us in captivity. All right, so let me go ahead and put her off here, and I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna go into something real quick. Y'all got anything?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, come on. Hold on 1 second. Wait, hold up. All right, so check this out. Y'all see that?
Zoom in, so I'm out.
Y'all see that?
Okay.
So this is an article I ran across. All right, the forgotten history of African slavery in China. Okay, so if I do some reading, y'all. All right, so
I'll read off if you need me to, and just let me know when you want me to stop or whatever. Can you state the source for everybody as well, if you don't mind?
This is by Ario. I guess this is some type of website or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what this website is about, but it's Ario, and that's the title of the article.
Okay. So this is the forgotten history of African slavery in China. In an essay for the New York Times 1619 Projects, Nicole Hannah-Jones argues that the U.S. was founded as a Slavocracy,
Matter
and
of fact, let's skip down because they ain't talking about nothing just yet. Let's skip down to let me see. This the third paragraph. Can you see my arrow?
Con.
All right, right now.
All right, but this approach neglects the historical evidence that Africans were transported off the continent as slaves long before the formation of the early modern Western states. More than 1,000 years ago, over the course of several centuries, the Chinese Empire was part of a slave network whose ships traversed the Indian and Pacific Oceans to deliver human cargo from Africa to its shores.
So stop right there. Notice it said more than 1,000 years ago, over the course of several centuries, the Chinese Empire was part of a slave network whose ships. So we was taking on slave ships before the transatlantic slave trade. It said whose ships traversed the Indian and Pacific Oceans to deliver human cargo from Africa to its shores. This interaction with African slaves solidified the link between dark skin and inferiority in the Chinese mind. That's why they hate you. They said dark skin and inferiority because that's why they hate you. That's why they know you're an Israelite, and it's already programmed in their mind that you different. You not them. You the enemy. All right, keep reading on that, King.
Such thinking eventually permeated into present into present day China and led to racist attitudes and mistreatment of black people.
Present day China. Next paragraph.
The first Africans arrived in China as gifts from the king of Kalinga in the Java to Tang Emperor in 813 AD. These young boys and girls were treated as exotic ornaments, no different from the rhinoceros and other animals they were presented alongside. The Chinese called them zhangzi,
Let's skip down. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to find. See, some dynasty. Okay, now check this out. Right, let's start. Pick it up right. But you can pick it up. You start at the beginning of this paragraph.
In later accounts, African slaves turned up as the personal property of Arab merchants residing in Chinese port cities such as Guangzhou.
Stop right there. Hey, so can you pull Acts chapter 2? Acts chapter 2 and verse I think it's verse 5, verse 4. Well, let's start at verse hold on, let me get there. Acts 2 and verse 4.
Khan, this is the book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 4.
No, 5, my bad.
Khan, this is Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven.
How did we get to every nation under heaven? And this was the beginning of the millennium. This was the beginning. This was the beginning of the millennium. So how did we end up in all these nations? Through captivity. It said Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Right? So keep reading that. It says, matter of fact, it says in the beginning of this paragraph, it says, in later accounts, African slaves turned up as the personal property of Arab merchants. How did we end up as property of Arab merchants? The sub-Saharan slave trade. The trans-Saharan slave trade, right? Keep reading on that, King, on the paragraph.
Khan. The average Guangzhou resident is likely to have encountered Africans as she went about her daily tasks. Eventually, wealthy Chinese also started demanding such slaves in large numbers. This required a supply line beginning from East Africa, traversing the Indian Ocean, stopping in India, and finally crossing the Malaccan Straits to reach the port cities of China. The journey took approximately 6 months, and shipwrecks were a common hazard. Many captives must have died along the way, even those.
It's the same thing that took place in the transatlantic slave trade. We on these ships. A lot of captives died. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us died on them ships. This been happening. We've been on these slave ships, right? That's why everybody got to go into captivity, man.
That's right.
That's why we ain't showing no mercy to no heathens, because it's telling you right here, way before the transatlantic slave trade, the Chinese, the Arabs, all of them had us in captivity. They got to pay, man. The Most High is gonna make them pay, right? Keep reading that, King.
Even those who made it to China alive could still perish suddenly while trying to acclimatize to the new environment. As one Song dynasty from 960 to 1279 AD, government.
Stop right there real quick. Notice this last sentence. It says, even those who made it to China alive could still perish suddenly while trying to acclimatize, meaning like acclimate yourself, meaning what's the word? What's another word for it? Adapt. Trying to acclimatize to the new environment. So these slaves would die trying to get acclimated to the society, to what's going on in their environment, right? How do they just die? Right, keep reading on that, King. Watch this.
As one Song dynasty from 960 to 1279 AD, government official observed, if in captivity they are fed cooked food, after several days they get diarrhea. For this reason, they sometimes fall ill and die. Although
matter of fact, keep reading. My bad.
Attributed these deaths to a change in diet. The cumulative effects of disease and ill treatment on the sea voyage would have taken a toll as well.
So these slaves would die from eating that garbage. Mm-hmm. They was giving them, wow, that lets you know that's an Israelite, because we wasn't used to eating pork and all these abominations. These slaves got over there. These Israelites got over there, and they feeding them abominations. That's why they die.
Right.
Hey, they are feeding them rats, cats, and bat soup.
Right. And that's why they was falling dead, because they never had that before. They never ate them abominations before. Those of us raised in captivity, we've eaten abominations before. Those Israelites never ate it before. That's why they just fall and die. And they trying to figure out why. Because you're going against our dietary laws. That's why.
That's right.
It says in his last sentence, it says the implication is clear. They were solely regarded as chattel, like chattel slavery. Just like cattle, animals. You see what I'm saying? So let me pull this up right here. So let me see. So slavery in China. Check this out. Let's see. All right, this is Wikipedia. Let me see. It was something. Let's go to the second paragraph right here. I'm gonna make it bigger. So this is the Wikipedia, slavery in China Wikipedia. Can y'all see that?
Make it slightly bigger. There you go.
Okay, so let me see. Then we're gonna start. Let me see. Start down here, not verse, but all right, start right here. Right here. You see my arrow?
All right. These Chinese slaves to Mongols or Manchus were called bondsmen and became personal retainers of their imperial overlords. Some attained high positions and led other Chinese slaves. In the 19th century, due to concerted efforts to end the African slave trade, large numbers of Chinese laborers known as coolies
Write that word down. They said these African slaves are known as coolies. Were what?
Were exported to replace slave labor. They were transported in cargo ships with conditions and practices nearly identical to the former African slave trade.
Now, remember this. Remember, they said that they was taking trips from Africa. But watch how these devils try to change it up and make it seem like these coolies or these African slaves are not the same people that was coming from Africa. Right? Keep reading.
Visitors to late 19th century China found little difference between the poor, free, and the slaves, both of which were treated as hired laborers.
All right, let's see. Let me see. Maybe okay, I'm trying to make sure I ain't missing nothing. Let me see. Nah, they ain't. Let me see. They ain't it. All right, so look, let's go to this word coolie right here. All right, we're gonna click on this word coolies. Okay, so this is coolie. This is Wikipedia still. All right, make it bigger.
All
right, is that big enough? All right, so coolie, also spelled coeli anyway, is a pejorative term used for low-wage laborers, typically those of Indian or Chinese descent. You see that? Indian or Chinese descent. Now they're trying to say these are Indian. So you tell them these are Chinese or Indian folks. Now, when it says descent, that word can be deceptive because if what that can mean is you're from India or you're from China, not of Indian bloodline or Chinese bloodline, but you're from India. You know, so just like our people over here call themselves Americans, you know what I'm saying, because they were born in America. So that word is deceptive because we just got finished reading where it said the ships was coming from Africa, right? So it says, I'm trying to see, the word coolie was first used in 16th century by the European traders across Asia. By the 18th century, the term referred to migrant Indian indentured laborers. In the 19th century, during the British colonial era, the term was adopted for the transportation and employment of Asian laborers. Now, you see this right here, Indian indenture system. Now, these people are so wicked, they got to try to hide what's going on. Look at this picture right here. It says, they called them, it said, hold on. It said newly arrived indentured laborers from India and Trinidad. One thing about it, folks, is it said these laborers, let me go back. It said coolie, a pejorative term used for low-wage laborers, typically those of Indian or Chinese descent. India didn't have their own Indian folks as slaves. The Chinese didn't have the Indians as slaves. The ship said it was coming from Africa, but they got to try to hide who these Africans are. We seen that first video where it said Yasuki, they was slaves from Africa in Japan. You see how they got to try to hide this? You see why you don't see these names China in the Bible? And then I even looked up how old was China. How old was China? China, it says it's been around for 35,000 years and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, why don't we see it in the Bible? Why don't we see they'll sit here and tell a bold-faced lie, right? So let's see. Let me see. What did it say right here? Let me see. In the 19th century, during the British colonial era, the term was adopted, coolie, for the transportation and employment of Asian laborers via employment contracts on sugar plantations formerly worked by enslaved Africans. Now, watch this. It says the word has had a variety of negative implications. In modern day English, it is usually regarded as offensive. In India, it is its country of origin. it is considered a derogatory slur. In many respects, it is similar to the Spanish term peon, although both terms are used in some countries with different implications. In the 21st century, coolie is generally considered a racial slur for Asians in Oceania, Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Americas, particularly in the Caribbean. All right, so check this out. Let's see this word peon talking about. So let's see. Let me see. So peon. What is it saying right here? Read that for me, King.
So a peon is usually refers to a person subject to peonage, any form of wage labor, financial exploitation, coercive economic practice, or policy in which the victim or a laborer peon has little control over employment or economic conditions. Peon or peonage can refer to both the colonial period and post-colonial period of Latin America, as well as the period after the end of slavery in the United States, when black codes were passed to retain African American freed men as labor through other means.
So they say peon and coolie basically have the same meaning, right? Notice I used to say peon. No, these words still exist. Yep. I used to like when you talking smack to somebody, you know what I'm saying, you call them peon, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so coolie, I don't know if y'all remember that old movie called Coolie High.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who was in that movie?
Black people.
Black people. They be low key with this stuff, man. So let's see. Let me see. See if there's anything else on here I need to. Cause I had read a whole lot of this stuff, but I don't think there's anything else on here. Let me see it. Let me go back. All right, so let me see. What's up, man? David. Let me see.
I got a precept too.
Bring it out, King.
All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So this was already prophesied for the children of Israel when we broke God's commandments, that we would be scattered into different countries and nations, and we would be going by proverbs and bywords, i.e. your coolie, your peon, your nigger, your coon, your spick, and many of the other terms that have been associated with so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, also known as Indian friends. Ain't that something?
God.
Hell, Black, Hispanic, Indian.
Right. So check this out, right? Right here in let me see. So check this out, right? Can y'all see that?
Come.
All right, so it said the word originated in the 17th century Indian subcontinent and meant day laborers. Starting at the 20th century, the word was used in British Raj, India, to refer to porters at railway stations. The term differs from the word Dougla, which refers to people of mixed African and Indian ancestry. See, notice how they keep saying, they keep trying to say these are real, like folks from India, like real Indians and not Israelites. And then they refer to us as Africans, right? So then it says, watch this, it says, coolie is instead used to refer to people of fully blooded Indian descent whose ancestors migrated to the British former colonies. So what they saying is, ultimately, a coolie was a slave in India or China, and they trying to make us believe that the Indians had their own people as slaves. You see what I'm saying? And then had their own people over in China as slaves. It says, once again, coolie is instead used to refer to people of fully blooded Indian descent whose ancestors migrated to the British former colonies in the Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean. Where was Asian Indian slaves in the Caribbean. When did that happen? It says this is particularly so in South Africa, Eastern African countries, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, Jamaica, other parts of the Caribbean, Mauritius, Fiji, and the Malay Peninsula. Now check this out, right? Let's go down to I think it was. Let me click on this right here. Watch this. I'm going to go
to. Hey, also nowadays these Caribbean islands they are being ruled and being bought out by these Asians.
Exactly. They don't want to tell you what really went down. See, the way they give this information, they got to tiptoe around the plot that all these nations made against the children of Israel. They got to tiptoe around it, and they got to word these things certain ways. That's why they keep saying Africans, you know. And they just contradicted themselves by saying that a coolie was somebody of natural Indian descent or bloodline Indian, when we just seen that these coolies was in China, and we just seen that the coolies was brought from Africa with Arabs. You see what I'm saying? So right here, this first paragraph, what is this saying? Somebody read that real quick. Let me.
This is saying a major difference between the Chinese and Indian coolie trades was that women and children were brought from India along with men, while Chinese coolies were 99% male.
Stop right there. Didn't they say that the coolies were of Indian descent? Let's go back up. They just said, watch this. Where was it at? Dang, what I see in that at? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go back down. They just said that the coolies were bloodline Indian folks. But now they saying, God damn, there we go. Now they saying that the coolies, they had Chinese coolies and they had Indian coolies. They come up with all these bywords for the Israelites, and they got to try to make it seem like it's somebody else. Right? Read that again, King. Start that up over again.
A major difference between the Chinese and Indian coolie trades was that women and children were brought from India along with men, while Chinese coolies were 99% male. Although there are reports of ships, so-called coolie ships, for Asian coolies carrying women and children, the great majority of them carried men. This led to a high rate of Chinese men marrying women of other ethnicities, such as Indian women and mixed race Creole women.
Mixed race Creole women. They it's like they chopped themselves up. They just contradicted themselves on the same page. First they say the coolies were 100% Indian. Now you got Chinese and Indian coolies. Now they calling the coolies. This says this led to a high rate of Chinese men marrying women of other ethnicities, such as Indian women and mixed race Creole women. They got to try to find a way to refer to the Israelites without saying Israelite. Right? Read this next paragraph. My bad.
The contrast in the female to male ratio between Indian and Chinese immigrants has been compared by historians. In Sumatra, in the Dutch East Indies, just 18,731 Chinese women and 92,985 Chinese men served as coolies on plantations. Chinese women migrated less than Javanese and Indian women as indentured coolies. The number of Chinese women as coolies was very small, while Chinese men were easily taken into the coolie
trade.
So
we can stop right there. Right there. So So let me see. It says. So basically, let me see. Hold on. Is this something? All right. So look, let me go. Let me read this down here, right here. Right here. All right. It says, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. It says, however, there continued to be a severe shortage of women. This gave women a new sense of power when it came to choosing a partner. With a shortage of women, it became the responsibility of the male suitor to provide a hefty dowry to a woman's father, regardless of what caste she came from. Unfortunately, this also put women in a very vulnerable position, especially when alone. Rape was a common occurrence, and there were accounts of women being bound and gagged in their own homes between 1872. Now, this is the Chinese men sleeping with the coolie women, right? We the only people they got bywords for. These bywords, understand coolie is a derogatory term for you. They got to try to dress it up and make it seem like it's for some other folks. We the only people that got these bywords on us. You see what I'm saying? And this proves that the Indian folks, the Indians and the Chinese and the Japanese that had us in captivity. Just in this short amount of time, we've just proven that, actually, no, we've just proven that the Arabs, the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Indians had us in captivity in a short amount of time. Right? Let me get up off here. Hold on.
Shoot, if I may add on, we on reference Acts chapter 2 verse 5 earlier. I want to revisit that. God. So it says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So if we drop on down to verse on 9, it goes on reading. Parthians. Go on out.
It says Parthians and Medes and Elamites.
Elamites is the biblical name for the East Indians, Elam. So we are clearly seeing that there were Jews, there were Israelites in the land of Elam, which is your East Indian. Read on.
Right. And the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia, in Pontus and Asia.
And where?
And Asia.
So there were Jews also dwelling in Asia. So everything that the brother just brought out, we back it up by the scripture.
That's right.
This is plain, showing that we have been scattered everywhere. So don't be surprised if you find out that there are Israelites in any land that you research, whether it's Asia, whether it's India, whether it's Jamaica, whether it's Finland, whether it's doggone Nova Scotia. There are Israelites everywhere. Right. And there is a specific reason why. Because of crafty counsel. Mm-hmm. Go to Psalms chapter 83.
This book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Mm-hmm. So our enemies make a very loud noise. They make an uproar. They cause chaos and calamity. Keep on.
It says, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So they hate the Most High God. So this is why they take the Most High God's children into captivity. It's pure, unadulterated hatred. Read.
It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So there is a crafty counsel going on. There's a crafty counsel to call you by another name, to call you by coolie, to call you by African, To call you by any of these other proverbs and bywords that we hear on the day-to-day and that we find out more and more of through our various long hours of research. This is a great conspiracy that the whole world knows about, except you, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native people.
Right.
The proof is in the pudding, and it tastes disgusting. Let's keep reading.
It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
And we are the hidden ones because we are hidden under all these false names. Read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And that's what they did until the Most High put his spirit out there. And now you see us coming back to our nationality and our true heritage as the Israelites. We are no longer going by the names that our oppressors give us.
Right.
We are now coming back to the real name that the Most High called us, and that is the Prince of the Power with God. Read.
It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So didn't we see the Chinese consulting with the Arab? And what is one thing that they had in common? So-called, quote unquote, African slaves.
Right.
This is a crafty council that's been going on for eon and decade, year and year. These people are doing everything that they can to keep you down, to keep you in a state of stupor, so you never rise up to your true power, that you never come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, that you never take back the scepter and rule over them. This is what they want. They want you to stay black. They promote Black Lives Matter. They promote being black and proud. They love to go to the Martin Luther King Day parade just so they can see you being a damn fool.
Right.
Cut the nonsense and come back to your nationality, because they are taking crafty counsel to destroy you. Read.
It says, the tabernacles of Edom.
We already know who that is. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
Hey, there goes the Arab that had the quote unquote African slave. Go on.
Of Moab.
Hey, we see Moab right there with them. And King, you can rest there. I just want the people to see that this is crafty counsel that's been going on. And if you continue to read through Psalms chapter 83, you will see that there are more and more nations part of this. This is why you have a such thing as a United Nations. And guess what? You don't have a seat there.
United against who?
Exactly. What are they trying to fight? What are they trying to protect? But yet we see them going to war and hating each other every day. But there's one group that they hate more than anyone else, and that's your black ass.
Right.
And they want to keep you down. So Israel, take this information in, do your own research, follow up on what the brothers bring out, and just don't believe anything that anyone says, because as the sister said in the chat, it's lies, and more lies. We are all that we have. So we have to come together and serve our creator so that we can get up out of here, so that we can take back our power, so that we can rule them with a rod of iron, and so that we can heal this world. Because that's the only way that things are going to be set back right, is by us coming back to who we are and coming under our Lord and our King, Hamashiach Yahushua. I you.
Con. And I'm gonna share my screen one more time. I'm gonna show y'all something. Watch this. That's the Cooley High. What they ain't do nothing but change the spelling a little bit. Instead of having IE is EY. See how deceptive these folks are? They calling us niggas basically on the low. Nigga high. Boy.
Slave high.
Right. Boy, these folks are something else, man. Shoot, but yeah, with that being said, I hope y'all was edified. At the end of the day, the point is the Bible is a real book.
Yep.
This Bible is a real book. That's why Isaiah 34 and 16 says, seek ye out the book of the Lord and read. None shall fail. None shall fail.
Right.
It says, none shall fail. None shall want her mate. Nothing in this book is going to fail. This is a real book. That's why all nations got to go into captivity, because all nations had us into captivity.
That's
we
right.
We serve a just God. So with that being said, we appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Guess we can go ahead and shut it down. You got anything else, Asa?
Con King. I want to bring out two more things. Go to Baruch chapter 4 and verse 28.
Yeah. Okay. It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from God, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
Hey, we have been lost for a long, long time. And we are just now waking up to this truth. It may be your first month knowing you're Israelite, your first year, 5 years, 10 years, however long you've been in this truth. You are still a babe. So it's time for you to crank it up. It's time to study more. It's time to fast more. It's time to pray more. It's time to seek out of these scriptures more and actually apply it to your life, because we do not have much time left. This world is so evil that it is haste and fast to pass. So we have to do everything that we can so that we can get this everlasting life. And I got one more verse. Let's get the book of Micah chapter 4 and verse 13.
It's the book of Micah chapter 4 and verse 13. It says, my bad. It says, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Yahweh, and their substance unto Yahweh of the whole earth.
Hey, stand up, Zion. Take back that power. Blessed be the Lord that strengthens our hands to war. And let's cut down these false doctrines, false philosophies, and let's take back our power seat and rule over these nations. That's all I got.
Micah 4 and 13, that's our credo. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't noticed that's what we got on our shirts, Micah 4 and 13. You know what I'm saying? The Most High gonna use us through Yahweh Shah to bring justice back on the earth. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, at the end of the day, matter of fact, using Baruch 4, and I'm gonna read this last verse. It says, I'm gonna read verse 36, Baruch 4 and 36. It says, O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from God. It's talking about Yahweh Shah. Verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of God. Because we scatter. At the end of the day, we're going to come from all nations to the Holy Land. Hey,
that's right.
With that being said, hey, we're going to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. Hey, and the Water family for joining us tonight. Catch us next week, same time, same place. Shalom.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.